You believe in God at least?
I believe in God, but I have a distrust of written.
Of what?
I have a distrust of written religion. I come up from a mixed religious background.
I understand. That's understandable.
A lot of family fighting.
Which religion do you come from?
Well, Judaism, Catholic, there's a couple of Muslims in the mix, all of them tearing each other's throats apart.
I understand. Yeah, that's understandable. But do you agree that one of them probably is more than likely true?
The best description for my religion, I would say, is fuck around and find out.
Ooh, what if you find out and you end up in that eternal hellfire?
Well, if I get sent to hell because I didn't kneel nor and sacrifice a goat every Tuesday, I don't know if I want to follow God like that.
I understand. Understandable. But but I understand with your whole family background, that's understandable, by the way. When people, sorry about it, when people like act stupid with their religions, because Christians, Muslims, it doesn't matter what religion, we always got stupid people in it,
Yeah,
right?
No.
So that's understandable where you come
I'm a
from.
believer in letting people believe what they believe.
Sure.
But it's like you say, there's also a lot of people who use their religion as
I agree
a
with
knife
you.
and
that shouldn't be done. And I agree with you. But don't you think it's important to see if any of them are true? That way you can at least have an idea.
No, I'm on my own journey, like figuring out for myself.
Yeah.
Like
that's good.
I don't know. That's the thing. Okay, so if there is a God, we as humans cannot perceive that. We cannot.
Not fully. Yeah, I agree.
No. And that's one of at least my primary defending points of why I do not trust text-based religion, because a human wrote that.
I understand.
Maybe a prophet. Who knows?
Sure.
But even the prophet's still a human. We don't know.
Got it. Have you ever looked into the historical evidence of Jesus' resurrection?
Not specifically, no.
So, because you're right. The Bible is, and you can look this up. You can fact check me, right? But the Bible is written by humans, right? And but at the same time, they make a claim of this Jesus of Nazareth who died on the cross, which no historian debates, by the way. Everybody agrees that he died on the cross. And then they make the claim that they put him in a tomb, and after 3 days, it was empty, right? And then they make a claim also that they witnessed him resurrected. Now, there are 4 facts that historians agree with. They won't necessarily say the resurrection is true, but they do agree that he died on the cross, he was put in the tomb, and it was empty after 3 days. And the disciples that followed Jesus had a genuine belief that they witnessed him bodily resurrected.
Yeah.
How do you explain them seeing a bodily resurrection like that and not be a resurrection?
Well, there was a man that was pronounced dead. It was a monk. I'm trying to remember what religion. He was pronounced like deceased. He was buried in the ground.
Sure.
Actually, no. It was a bell. Like, look up. I think it's called bell ringers.
Okay.
Like, they would wire up to any. They found out that people would like be pronounced dead incorrectly.
And put in a coffin, right?
Put a string from the coffin, like the coffin they just
Yep,
buried.
I've heard of this. Yep.
All the way up to a bell to ring it.
Yep.
So there might have been a mistake with the checking of Jesus not being dead.
Great
He
point.
could have just gotten right back up.
Great point.
But my point is, like, we don't know.
Well, can I tell you what we do know?
Yeah.
Okay. The Romans mastered the art of crucifixion. There's never been a recorded person that actually survived a full crucifixion. The other thing is this: when the account happened where they witnessed Jesus on the cross, there was an earthquake that happened and they couldn't break his bones like they normally do. So what the Roman guard did was he speared the side of his body, and water and blood came out. Now, why is that significant? Back then, they didn't know the science behind how you die of a crucifixion, but today we do know. And the way you die of a crucifixion is asphyxiation. And the sign that somebody has fully died from asphyxiation is your chest gets filled with water and blood. There's no way a first century author could have known that scientifically. And the fact that they witnessed that and they wrote that down is a testimony that he was fully dead. There's no way he could have survived that.
Interesting. I do like that. That's interesting.
And then the other thing is, the reason why they say the disciples have a genuine belief that he resurrected is because all of the disciples were willing to die for this belief. If they made up the fact that they saw him resurrected, people die for a lie all the time, okay? There's Christians that die for Christianity, and maybe Christianity's a lie. There's Muslims that die from Islam, and maybe Islam's a lie. But if you know you made up the lie, there's a very little chance that you'll go through a torture and an execution for that lie. The fact that the disciples were all willing to die for their testimony of seeing them bodily resurrected, all of them, tells you that they, at the very least, genuinely believed that they saw him resurrected. So how else do you explain them seeing somebody resurrected? Plus, there's no body to show. The tomb was in fact empty. And the Roman leaders and the temple leaders didn't have a body to produce to show that, to disprove that he didn't resurrect.
I'm gonna be honest, and I hate to take the wind out of your sails.
No,
I have
go on.
ADHD and I zone out in the back.
No worries.
halfway
What did you catch? I have it too.
Like you were asking how I explain in the resurrection.
Sure.
Like I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't be there. But like we have, and you say you have documentation. I can go look that up just for fun. But I don't know. We don't technically know. We have this paper written by a guy.
Well, there's multiple attestations to the crucifixion. There's, we have Flavius Josephus, who was a Jew, who wasn't a Christian, but he attested that he grew up around Jerusalem around the time it happened, and he attested that people did witness this crucifixion and they claimed of the resurrection. He didn't affirm it, but he claimed that people were claiming it. We also have Tacitus, the Roman historian, who also documented that he did die on the cross. He was put to death. And we have the Babylonian Talmud, which is a Jewish source, which you should know, that is actually goes against Christianity, and they actually admit that this Jesus of Nazareth was put to death, and he was put to death on the cross by Pontius Pilate. So we have multiple attestations, not by Christians, by enemies of Christians, that attest that he did in fact die.
They have documentation that he was put to death.
Correct.
They don't have documentation of his resurrection.
Right. No, nobody's going to affirm that. Yeah, because it's a supernatural thing. Nobody's going to confirm it because it's supernatural.
Because they want their religion to be right.
Correct.
Like I'm not just against.
No.
Like,
I got you, bro.
This is a broad
Bro. I do this on a regular basis. I'm not a fan.
I think like I was told that like the closest alignment I'm in is like agnostic. I think is what they said.
Probably. Like agnostic would be,
like
I believe in God, but I just don't know which one it is. That's what agnostic
Yeah,
would be.
that sounds pretty much.
Yeah,
like
fair
it.
enough, bro. You're on a journey.
Yeah, no, here's my commitment to God, whoever he may be.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to trust that he put a moral compass in me for a reason, and I follow it. I follow it religiously.
Got it. Okay. No, that's cool.
I do what I believe is right in the moment.
Look into the historical evidence. The argument I gave you is the 4 minimal facts. You could look it up. Even atheist historians agree with it. Okay. The other thing is this: the reason why we hold to the resurrection is because any natural explanation of that empty tomb just doesn't fit. Like him surviving the crucifixion, not logical.
Yeah.
Him, the disciples stealing the body, not possible. They had 4 Roman guards there. They could take on 20 people at once. They're skilled assassins. They could have killed these disciples. They wouldn't have gone past them. There was a huge rock that was, what would have been the motive for the disciples to steal the body? They didn't gain any wealth, they didn't gain any power. They just gained nothing but persecution and heartache. So there was no point in faking this resurrection. What was that?
They gained a martyr.
Well, you're only going to be a martyr if you die for what you actually believe in, right? If it's true.
Like, I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Sure.
They go and they at Jesus, like they are devout to Jesus. They are devout to his message. What is more confirming to his message than him coming back from the dead?
Yeah,
so
but
let's orchestrate this.
I agree with you.
Put it all together, make it public, and then more people are going to flock to you because, whoa, this dead guy's back.
Okay, so hear me out on this, okay?
Yeah.
Number one, remember what I told you? If they knew they were faking it, there's very little chance they would have died for it, because nobody's going to die for a lie, something that you know is a lie, right? But even if they were willing to die for a lie, in the first century, it was not common to believe in a God that gets humiliated on a cross and killed. That is a God you don't want to follow. The gods that they followed back then had power. They did not get humiliated. They gained force, right? The God of the Christians actually was put naked on the cross, humiliated and killed. That is not a God that is attractive to the first century person. So making up a God
to the person is a God who literally flips off everyone and says, "I came back because screw you."
I hear you. But then again, if they faked that resurrection, then there's a very little chance that they would have been willing to die for it and get tortured, because some of them got crucified themselves, some got beheaded, some got skinned, impaled, I mean, it was some bad stuff that they got put through, and they still went to the death for it. They did not deny it at all. They never renounced it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that does make sense.
Yeah. So that's why historians believe that their testimonies are at least genuine, if that makes
I
sense.
do want to get moving soon.
No worries. Hey, all I would leave. Thank you for having a conversation with
No,
me.
yeah,
It
no.
was very
like,
nice.
Like I said, now I'm open to talk about things.
Yeah,
Like,
no, good.
Like you're not gonna convert me in one night. But
I'm not trying to.
I don't know. I also think it's important, like on this journey, that you don't just shut down all sources.
I hear you, bro. Yeah. No,
So
thank you. No,
you've
that's what I'm
given me some
saying.
Things to think about.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you so much for at least
Yeah.
being open-minded, and then just look into the historical facts of the resurrection, and then you can build off of there.
Yeah.
You know? Very nice to meet you, man.
Very nice to meet you.
All right,
as well.
see you later, bro. What was your name?
Logan.
Logan
In
Hernan.
the future, maybe.